And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. Happy Thursday, and looks like we got that volatility we were talking about yesterday. I do believe direction is going to get settled over the next couple of days. And what do you know? The GDP numbers came out as we suspected. Negative GDP for the second quarter in a row. A confirmed recession, despite Biden's last minute charge to change the economic terms of what a recession is. And I will say yesterday we gave out $100 worth of Bitcoin, and there was only one person who followed the simple steps by watching till the end of the video. Good job, Jim. I will get that to you ASAP. And let's get right into it. Starting off, we're going to cover Bitcoin's price action. We're going to cover a little Bitcoin news. And first thing on the board is Rio de Janeiro. I think I butchered that, but they just moved forward with Bitcoin integration. The Secretary of Finance and Planning commented on the city's plans to put a percentage of the treasury into Bitcoin. Brazil has tax breaks also for Bitcoin miners. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to check out this article. But bottom line is, as I said, when El Salvador became the first country to add Bitcoin to their treasury, I said, look, the first domino has fallen. There's going to be many more to come. And so, yeah, I would expect more and more and more of this. So what was interesting about this article? It says, quote, Rio, because of its vocation as a global city, is aware of the world's main changes and innovations and always places itself at the forefront of these issues. So they're talking about the world's change towards adopting cryptocurrency. The city looks to the future, and the City Hall has been following the technological and economic advances. The goal is to make Rio the crypto ecosystem of Brazil, contributing to the city becoming the innovation and technology capital of the country. Pat yourself on the back, Rio. Good job for getting on board ahead of time. Okay, what's up next? On thenationalnews.com, UAE investors will soon be able to trade cryptocurrency in dirhams. Probably butchered that. So a partnership between Kraken and RAK Bank allows investors to fund virtual asset investments through their local bank accounts. And Kraken, one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchanges, is teamed up with National Bank of Ras Al Khaimah to offer UAE investors the ability to trade virtual assets in dirhams through their local bank account. So it says, quote, investors in the UAE will soon be able to directly participate and invest in the crypto market. And it says, quote, our solution is safer, more secure, more efficient, and reduces costs alongside our partners at RAK Bank and under the pioneering regulatory oversight of Abu Dhabi Global Market. We're about to make our vision of the AED crypto trading in the UAE a reality. And basically what they talked about in the article is, look, people have already been doing this from the UAE, but they're doing it through banks in other countries, and they're probably meeting up with, Bitcoin locals or whatever and just trading at a coffee shop, dropping a few gold bars for some crypto. Hey, but this reminded me of us at Bitcoin Advisors. Our solution is safer, more secure, more efficient, and reduces costs. So if you do want to put Bitcoin in your IRA, there's a link in the description below, a free investor guide. You can invest in cryptocurrency with your retirement account. 9 times out of 10, people don't even know that this is a possibility. I highly recommend you check it out. now we'll be getting into our TA portion of this video. I do want to start off with the dollar. And the dollar, we were talking about this yesterday. If we broke the range to the upside with a closure, I believe I said over 107.35, that would very likely give us a shot, up to, probably 108 and continuation from there. We did not, though. We did not close above that prior wick. We got stopped out right below. And then we had the big news yesterday. The Fed went ahead with their 75 basis point rate hike. And so we talked a lot about this, how do I put this into words? It's the anticipation or the expectation versus the reality of what happens. And what I would say is this, and this is just my opinion. How is the market digesting this based on results, right? NASDAQ is up, Bitcoin is up, Ethereum is up. And so the Fed did what they said they were going to do, right? And that was a 75 basis point rate hike. There were fears in the market of a 100 basis point rate hike. That did not happen. However, Fed Pal did say that coming into September, after they get the quote economic data that they don't know if inflation is going to be transitory and they don't know if inflation is going to keep going higher. They said, hey, we're not opposed to the idea of coming in with a heavy hand in September if inflation doesn't get under control. So I am looking at this as generally a breakout. With a 4-hour closure, we took out these wicks, and I would expect that target to get hit at, call it 13,000. That alongside Bitcoin breaking out as well. And look, we did have the perfect retest off of this trend line on the daily here. Coming back all the way from this point right here. And what did we talk about yesterday and the prior day was this, using this fib tool right here. We might come down to the 618. If we did play a bounce off that, that was likely going to give us a bounce up to the 236, which we got. We got a small pullback, a test of that trend line. And now it looks like we're, off to the races. And I would say this is the wick we got to look out for. I do believe there still is threat of a little bit of a downside move. This could be the fake out before the breakdown. It just, in my book, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when earnings reports are coming out worse than expected. You got major firms like Walmart, Apple, what else? The other one, big one that was saying they're going to basically freeze hiring. Those are not good signs for the economy in general. When you got the big people out, Facebook said they're going to put Meta, they're going to put a freeze on hiring. These guys are looking ahead of the future. So I imagine a lot of people got short yesterday with the rate hike and the anticipation of a second quarter of negative GDP. And then the big boys are just liquidating people. And that's why I did say, hey, look, if I was going to take a short off of this trend line, I'd put a risk management somewhere right above there and right above that wick right there. And thank God I did. I got it stopped out. Thank God for the stops. Just remember this. If you don't have a trading plan, you're just gambling, right? What's a trading plan? You have to have an entry point, an exit point, and risk management. So if you don't have all three pieces of the puzzle, well, you might as well go to Las Vegas, right? And so that's what we cover on this channel, is just kind of what Bitcoin's price action is likely to do. And based off of that, let's just take a look at the 4-hour time frame starting out here on Bitcoin. I am seeing this, right? So we're just getting back into the bullish control zone on the RSI. That's a good thing. However, we are going to have bearish divergence coming back from this point right here. That would be 1, 2, 3 drives if we cannot take out this high right here, which we, in fact... So what is hidden bearish divergence in the context of a downtrend? excuse me, this is regular bearish divergence, right? So when the price is making higher highs and the RSI is making lower highs, and you'd have 1, 2, 3, I'd say that bearish divergence already played out. So if this does confirm as a local high and we cannot take out this high, yes, I would expect a move back down to somewhere in this region. And that's kind of what you want is, if you're looking to go long, right, is you want to you don't want to buy the higher high, right? You don't want to buy the higher high. You want to short the higher low and buy the higher low. So where would a higher low come in likely? If we do want to take this guy out, let's say we do take this high out, you're going to get all the retailers to, actually, I'm going to use this little guy right here. So let's say we get a breakout up here. We want to see some kind of a retest of what would be the 236 and then a launch up like that. That's what I'd probably be looking for, something like that to happen. And I'm going to further line this up with a bullish retracement. Yes. So what we'd want to see is a test of the 618, something like that, or even the 0.5, somewhere in that region, a higher low. So a breakout and then a higher low here, here, or here. And that would be nice for a shot up to that gap fill region right there. And what is the measure move off of this descending triangle? Better to look at it on a daily, I do believe. Or we can make the triangle a little bit smaller. And here's what I would say as well is volatility is maxed out. Stokes will cross down with any kind of a closure below 23,726. And if you see the RSI reject the bullish control zone and get back down here, that'd be a good indicator. Yeah, we're going to come back down and play out a little bit of downside. Volatility has maxed out, so in a contraction phase, you expect the price to come back down to move in the opposite direction of the explosion, right? So volatility got low here, right? And then we exploded to the upside, and then during the contraction, if we lose that moving average right here, if this guy comes below there and we start to tick back down, that would look good for a little bit of a mean reversion bounce. What are we looking at on the daily? Let's just see if this lines up on the daily time frame. And it does line up with the daily. So daily Stokes are crossed up, will remain crossed up as long as we're above 23,000. Do we have any bearish divergence there? Not yet. We do have, that'll be 2 drives coming back from this point. And 1, 2, 3, 4 drives coming back from this point as soon as we confirm a local high. If we do not take out this, in fact, it's all the way back here. I mean, we got to get above 39,000. So do I think we have enough juice to get all the way up here? No, I don't. And as I've said in prior videos, the highest I think we're going to go right now is probably to, I think we'll get rejected actually off the green 55 right here. If we break through that with any kind of a daily closure above the green 55, then a gap fill somewhere around here. If we shoot through the gap, yeah, the next target is going to be that purple 200. Do I think that is likely? Probably not. However, what we can do is take a look at the weekly time frame, which is a more powerful time frame, which will give you more powerful moves. Notice the gap fill is coming in between 27 and 28,000 right there. Or excuse me, call it 27, 29,000. Right up to the yellow 21, and this will move down on the next closure. So, as we did say yesterday as well, is if we closed back above the trend line, so we broke, this was what we were talking about. The ultimate screw you to everybody was this, is we have the breakout above this trend line. Again, support and resistance, a really fundamental tool, one of the most powerful tools in a trader's belt, understanding support and resistance. However, this was a bit of a fake out, and that's why we say the 618 is where the bull traps and bear traps come in, right? So everybody got real bearish right here. And how do you trap bears? Well, you flip it back to the upside, right? And vice versa. Bull traps are going to be right at the same line, the 618. It just matters if you're doing a bullish or a bearish retracement. So putting my thoughts back together here, we were taking a look at the weekly time frame. And yeah, we did say this was the ultimate screw you a couple days ago. We said, hey, breakout, come back down to the 618, and then launch it back up to the green 55. And we did say, hey, if we did close back above 22.2, that was our first warning sign. A closure above 23,000 was going to be the major pivot on the market, with a closure above 23,000, which we didn't quite get it yesterday, but looks like we're going to get it today. That would likely lead us up to that green 55. And that looks like where we will head. This is also known as a bullish engulfing candle. So that was a good sign. We're going to get continuation today. And again, I probably, said my opinion yesterday was the market was going to go down. I'm the first one to admit it. I was a bit wrong there. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. Again, with the rate hikes, negative growth from the banks, missing earnings, and negative GDP, all kind of the recipe for a downwards market. But that is to be proven wrong. And, that's why the charts don't lie, and I don't trade my opinion. I trade based off of technical analysis. So don't listen to me. But on the other end of this idea, I wanted to show one last thing on the weekly time frame, and that is when we get the weekly Stokes to cross up the average bounce. And the average bounce, and we did say this as well, is there's not a lot of volume in this area, but when Stokes cross up, and I'm just going to mark this off really quick. Lock. Let's see. With some horizontals. So we got the cross up right here. We got the cross up right here. Why didn't my lock work? Got the cross up right here. Weekly cross up right here. It's not working. Is it the magnet I need to use? Magnet mode, drawing anchors will be snapped. No, I don't want that. That's what I want. Okay. So we got the cross up right here. Cross up right here. Cross up right there. And another weekly cross up. A weekly cross up. That was a macro low right here. So as you can see, when the weekly Stokes get down to this region, way down here, even whenever they cross up period, I mean, this was a failed rally right here. That was a failure. You can see these moves are pretty big, pretty darn big. And I'll just measure this one out from the bottom to the next high. Well, until we cross back down, right? So got all the way up 83%. That was an 83% gainer. This one, 162%. This one, 47%. This one, 500%. I'm glad if you guys were watching around there and you caught that rally. Good times, right? Good times. 93% on that one, and Stokes crossed it up right here, bottom to the next high. So I think the average bounce is on a weekly cross up is about 50%. Where is 50%? coming in line right there at 28,712. Could that be our target? How would we confirm it? I'd say a weekly closure above that purple 200 at 24,753, or call it 25,000. And yeah, I would say we're probably going to get a quick snap up to the yellow 21. And that's just my opinion again. Don't trade based off opinions. I don't even trade based off the weekly time frame. So this is just fun to look at for kicks and giggles. Okay, so that's it for Bitcoin today. Again, if I am going to go long here, I'm waiting for a pullback before I do that. And where is a pullback likely to come back in? So again, if we break out from this high to the low, if we get a daily breakout with a closure above here, we close above here, a little stint up, get everyone bullish, comes back down to the 618, and then that would be the move, the 618 or the 0.5. Could even come as low as this guy right here at 22,000. But I really, with the weekly Stokes crossing up, daily Stokes crossing up, what is the 2 day? The 2 days still up. Volatility looks like it's turning back up. 3 days up. Volatility expanding from a low region. And yeah, all we need to do is close above this yellow 21 on 3 day. And yeah, you're going to have some higher targets. I do believe that, 26, 27,000 isn't an unreasonable target at this point, based on the charts, not based on the news, that's for sure. Not based on the news. I think the Fed and everybody is trying to sugarcoat as much as they can how bad the economy really is. And why would they do that? Because they're not going to say the economy's in shambles, guys, sell all your stock, right? Speaking of stock, let's take a look at NASDAQ. What we had been talking about is a measure move on the daily time frame. And this one had a perfect retest. We had a breakout, retest. And again, my opinion don't matter. As we are clearing this line right here, the next target on this is going to be, right in line here at 13,000 bucks. I think that's in the cards for sure. We rejected the bullish control zone. We're getting back up in there. Not in there yet, but almost. So that's looking good for some continuation. And let's follow it up on the dollar and vice versa, off of this range here. Excuse me. The range to the downside. Oh, that magnet tool's on. That's why it's doing that. So let's take the magnet off and take a look at this guy right here. So any kind of a daily closure below 106 and I think 105, this green 55 actually is going to be a good little target. And that could happen over a couple of, over the next week or two, pending the closure, the daily closure below this level. If we don't and we get one of these fake outs, and what else do we have on the monthly time frame? Dollar hit our 109 target, that's for sure. We've been bullish on the dollar, and it is a bit of a macro breakout, but weekly signals take a very long time to play out. And if we just go from wick to wick here, it does give us a target of 113 on the US dollar for the monthly time frame. Let's check in. Actually, we're gonna do a monthly review at the end of the month here. When is the end of the month? Pop up my calendar here. The monthly closure will happen at the end of this month. Coming in hot on August 1st, which is Monday. So the end of the month is Sunday. So not only will we have a weekly closure on Sunday, we will have a monthly closure on Sunday. So what does Bitcoin look like on the monthly time frame? And I'm going to get rid of some of these blue lines here. And why not get rid of this and this? I'll even get rid of that. So here is the monthly time frame. And again, more powerful, bouncing off the green 55. And we did talk about this months and months ago, where we said, hey, look, when we broke down here at this, I forgot when it was, but we said, hey, look, when we broke down here, very likely going to going to come test that green 55. This chart's a little bit new. Okay, here's the older chart. So now we broke the green 55 on the monthly. We come back and retest it. And here's why these Fibonacci tools are so handy. Because you can go from the high to the low and see a bounce up to the 236 is a weak bounce. Up to the 382 is a weak bounce. A bull trap bounce would come up to the 36.8 level. I think this is just a weak bounce, and this monthly closure will close. And could we get a backfill all the way back down to 20,000? If we close anywhere below the green 55, again, with 2 consecutive closures, this is going to be a major closure. So we'll cover this on August 1st, and a real test to see where the market is going to go over the next few months. A lot of things are going to play out, and you know, it seems like everybody's on vacation right now. A lot of people are taking vacations, enjoying their life. People are still not feeling the pain in the stock market because they're still richer than they were in 2019. And when I say that, why do I say people are still wealthier today than they were in 2019? Look at this. Where was the stock market January 2019? If you're in the NASDAQ, most people aren't in the NASDAQ. Most people are in some kind of a mutual fund. Where's January 2019? January 2019. January 2019. NASDAQ. That's where it was. So if you were in the market in the NASDAQ, you're still up 81% since 2019. People have not felt the pain. However, if we do close above here, above that $13,000 pivot, that's a critical pivot on NASDAQ. That will beget continuation up to about 13.5 at a minimum. And again, bounces on the monthly time frame. Where could a bounce go? All the way up to the 618 at 13,668, and that would be your bull trap zone on the monthly time frame. Could that happen? I think it could. And if we look at it as a weak bounce up to 13, this region right here, maybe we get a wick up there and then back down. Monthly time frame takes a lot longer to play out, so a lot is at stake here. Make sure you tune in, like, and subscribe. Pass this on to your friends. I appreciate everybody that watches. Thank you so much for bearing with me while I've been tuning in the sound and the audio and all the things that go into making these videos. It's a lot of fun. Hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care. I'm signing out.